Alex, thanks for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about your role at Pivotal?
Yeah, happy to be here, Karol. Yeah. So I'm based in Paris and I'm running the technical field for a part of Europe. I've been with Pivotal for about 5 years, pretty much when we created it. And then we're focusing on agile and platform as a service, helping our customers really kind of become cloud native.
Excellent. So I know you've got a multi-cloud solution that sits as a PaaS on top of the clouds. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Right, yeah, spot on, exactly. I mean, it's not us that we're having that, it's more customers asking for that. So we created this Cloud Foundry open source ecosystem about 5 years ago as an open source project. We wanted it to be really focused on applications and how you deploy applications quickly and operate them at scale in production. Whether it is kind of new microservices-based applications or whether it is more kind of transformation or brownfield application that you have already existing and you're moving into this platform. The platform is based on modern technologies like containers. It looks modern today. It was really modern 5 years ago. And as a technology provider, we've made the early choice to run that platform on a hybrid cloud strategy. So we've invested a lot of engineering onto making that platform work on all of the private and all of the public cloud infrastructure solutions, and Google being one of these.
That's very interesting. I've also heard that you leverage Kubernetes in order to provide that elasticity and scale on demand. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, actually, we've been awarded Google Technology Partner of the Year for different reasons. One being that we've been working on native integration for the Google Cloud Platform and leveraging the infrastructure as a service elements of this for running Cloud Foundry natively on top of that. And Cloud Foundry is built on top of its own layers around elasticity, container management, applications and services management. But in addition to that, and in recognitions of the growth of the Kubernetes ecosystem for modern application architectures, we've been doing joint engineering with Google on a project called Kubo, which stands for Kubernetes on Bosch. Bosch being our automation sort of secret sauce, which is open source, not so secret anymore, which is really a way to deploy Kubernetes on any IaaS as well. So obviously with Bosch, we support the Google Cloud Platform. So now it's really easy to deploy Kubernetes at scale on Google Cloud Platform, but also to maintain it, because what is hard with this platform is that you take a lot of responsibility when you run these in productions. You need to take care of upgrades, security upgrades, scalability, etc.
I'm going to double click on one point. You mentioned the engineering teams coming together, and I know that's something that we've done from the top down. There's multiple different projects where we're trying to get our technologies closer together. And I know that Pivotal have actually moved their dedicated solution on top of GCP. So now customers who are using PCF Community use actually Google Cloud Platform. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and why you chose GCP?
Yeah, we've done a lot with Google recently on different sides, and as you point out, we have our own public hosted versions of Cloud Foundry, which is called Pivotal Web Service, and we have an instantiation of this on Google Cloud Platform that we operate. It's more for customer accelerations when they don't have their own platform yet on their own tenant of their clouds, and what we've done as well is changing the way we were doing our own engineering and QA as an engineering group organization internally, switching from Amazon to the Google Cloud Platform, and we had great savings by doing that, approximately 40% savings across the overall engineering organizations.
Wow! So moving from AWS over to GCP, so 40% saving.
Yeah, exactly, and it gave us much more agility thanks to the stability. And we operate globally in Pivotal. We have 18 offices. Our engineering group is approximately 700 engineers, and we work in a distributed agile when we do work on this Cloud Foundry open source and platform. And so it was really important to have that global scale as well into the engineering organization. A lot of what we do is continuous deployment. Any release we test extensively before giving that to customers and stuff like that. So it was really important to have like on-demand capacity to test all these different release and components, and so that was really the key use cases for us.
That scalability and reliability is key. And one example of that happened recently was Comic Relief. I know 2 years ago, it's a 2-year cycle, that they actually run Comic Relief. I know they had some issues where they went down, their servers couldn't support the load, and that cost them around $25 million. Right. And this is money that all goes to charity. So this year, I know they came to Pivotal and Google to create a scalable, reliable solution. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, exactly. So Comic Relief is a charity. They pretty much run 2 days every 2 years. There's like a massive load on the platform, so they get ready for that sort of before doing engineering work and stuff like that. It's a donation application, like 2 weeks ago they break a new record. It was 72 million pounds in 2 days, with about 300 donation a second. Wow. On peak load. So obviously any downtime becomes like an issue, and it's highly publicized as well as a charity. So technology has been a key driver for their scalability, and we've been partnering with them this year on Pivotal Cloud Foundry running on Google. It was actually an hybrid deployment. They were having multiple platforms to anticipate, different failure scenarios and different workloads scenarios, etc. And it's been really successful, working with them. They're not so much the typical, Pivotal customers. What we focus on is really large enterprise that are looking for sort of disrupting the disruptor, like transforming themselves, into building software better, faster, and operating it in production in a better way, sort of becoming cloud native, right? So, Comic Relief is not having that typical scale of an enterprise customers, and they have this benefit of having this sort of greenfield design when they do design this app in this platform every time. But it's a great testimony of how simple they could operate at scale, how reliable they could be by using this modern approach, and this means the modern architecture for the application that is obviously distributed but transactional because it's real money and donation, and doing that at scale.
So just drilling into that point, I know that as well as PCF, so the framework, you provide the labs, so Pivotal Labs, which help with, learning those agile methods, releasing fast, shortening that time to application. My understanding is Uber built their first ever prototype using Pivotal Labs. Is that correct? Yeah,
I mean we've been into this agile philosophy for over 20 years, actually. Even if Pivotal is more a younger company, the name Pivotal Labs is a specific unit in Pivotal that is taking care of that. So the way we do it is that we take customers and we do things with them. We don't do things for them, so we're not like a third-party consulting. We don't do coaching, so it's not a training about DevOps or Agile or anything like that. We take a real application, we take developers, business owners, product owners, maybe data scientists. We create an integrated team. We do extreme programming and pairing in all of these functions, and we make a real application all the way down to production together. So we've been working with different startups like Uber and others, as well as gigantic enterprises on specific projects.
Wow, quite a mix then.
Yeah.
And then, so tell me this, you touched a little bit on why you chose Google Cloud Platform, some of the benefits of using Google Cloud in terms of cost and performance. How do you see the cloud industry evolving in the next coming years?
Right, yeah. No, it's a good point. So, I mean, as much as we're using Google for the Google Cloud infrastructure, we focus very much onto the applications as well. And our customers do choose like cloud platform for that. I mean, what they care about is applications. They understand the value of the infrastructure, of the platform, and the agility that they get by doing that, and by leveling up the abstractions, when dealing with these applications. But what they focus on is applications. And the way we look at Google is one of the cloud providers that is having that focus as well. And what we've done for Pivotal Cloud Foundry, for example, is that we've also integrated the Google services like BigQuery or like Bigtable and others into our Cloud Foundry marketplace. So if you're a developer and you're building an app and deploying to the Cloud Foundry that's running onto your Google Cloud tenant, you can also leverage these Google services very easily and having a sort of native kind of user experience as you consume these services and API. So, this pattern of having applications and services and operating infrastructure and cloud at scale is really the sort of the three areas that we really see, being the focus of the evolutions of clouds, and having hybrid options, is really relevant today for our customers, kind of having dual sourcing or having, no lock-in with the specific providers, or in the vast majority actually having options between private and public, because I think customers realize that having a private cloud is somewhat nice, but is a very, very specific duty. And we see some customers kind of getting out of that business, especially as the cloud are getting into a global scale, security compliance, sovereignty, and different things like that. And so having these higher level abstractions that focus on applications and give you this portability across clouds, while still having the benefit of leveraging the native advantages of that specific cloud, whether it is global scale or integrated services, is really what makes this kind of future of the clouds coming in. And we see a lot of customers investing into this cloud native architecture and platform because they think the application and the platform is the new gold, is the new fuel of the company, because they can operate at scale kind of the day after the app is done, not like in 6 months or in 2 years. Right.
Great. So thank you for a very comprehensive answer. It sounds like the future of cloud is multi-clouds, openness, agility, as opposed to one single cloud. And PCF and Pivotal provide that ability to build not just on one cloud, but take advantage of those key features in every cloud.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of our focus is also on our communities and open source. A lot of what we do it into the open source. So the Kubernetes on Bosch is an open source project. The Open API Service Broker is an open source project. The Cloud Foundry is an open source project and is a foundation as well, backed by the Linux Foundation. So the cloud behind this terminology really means also an open community of expertise and partners, and this is what also we are defining with our customers. They are joining the foundation as much as other providers like Google has been joining the Cloud Foundry Foundation, as well as us contributing stuff into it. So it really means this sort of 1 + 1 = 3, thanks to the global scale that is behind this effort.
We think openness is the way forward too. Alex, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Thank you.